Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes with Silver Phoenix, our now level 31 martial arts super reflex scrapper. We're in the middle of a story arc where we are working on, we don't have any clues yet, but we're working on defeating creatures in a lab, so we're trying to save the Cray from the freak show, I believe. Missions. This one. Okay, so no, we're defeating all creatures in the lab. This is Devouring Earth. Cray and Freak Show is for Philippa Moreau. So this is Jenny Firkin's mission, and this is a story arc. So we're doing the Devouring Earth, and we're going to try to stop them from attacking this lab. So the door looks as if it's been kicked in by a 20-pound foot. Yep, so that sounds like Devouring Earth. And there they are, Death Spores, Bedrocks, Geodes. Right, so the Death Spores have a Mez, we don't care, we have Practice Brawler, so we can kick his butt. One of the things we gotta look at is the amount of damage they take. So let's take a look at the info on Crane Kick. It says it does 179 damage, so if we kick the Geode, we do 225, so they actually take more damage. If we look at the info on Thunder Kick, it does 77 damage. If we kick a Bedrock, does 69, so he's got some resistance, about 10%. We should be doing massive amounts of damage with our Crane Kick now, because we have, as of the last episode or so, we have 6 slotted it. We have triple damage enhancers on it, so the base damage is 91 damage. We're doing almost a double, almost 180. And so we should be doing really good damage with that. We have 5 researchers to rescue in here. We take a look at the Razor Vines. Again, this is 178 damage on, and we did 87, so they're really, yeah, 41. They have like 50% damage resistance. I did not know that. So these guys are highly resistant to smashing. So some of them take more damage from smashing, some of them take a little less, and some of them take a lot less. So these guys are going to be a little tough to take out because they take so much, because they're so resistant, and it's going to eat up some endurance. But we have a lot of inspirations, and our character has a lot of resources now that we're 31st level. And so we can do a lot of damage to them pretty quickly. We have pretty much a completely closed attack chain now, which means that we can non-stop attack without waiting for things to recharge. Alright, so we're done there, and there's a Fungoid. So let's take a look with the Fungoids. Remember, it's, well, I just did Focus Chi, so we're not going to be able to look at the damage. They took 148 with Focus Chi running, so that means they have about a 50% damage resistance too. Yeah, so these guys are going to take a lot to take out. That's a Lieutenant, so his damage resistance might have been based on his rank, I don't really know. Also, these things are buffing them, so I'm not sure how much of it is the buff from this thing, which I really should have taken out first. Okay, wait a minute. Where did I come from? Did I miss something? Or so there's an elevator here. But there's much more area. Kind of went around the wrong way. Alright, so there's Bedrock there, there's a Fungoid there. Let's go ahead, Focus Chi, and take this guy out really fast. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll take out his sequel, this guy. And now we want to take this thing out, because it's buffing him. Alright. So now we did 41 damage on that thing, so that's roughly 50% damage resistance. Yeah, so these guys are going to be very tiring to take out because they have so much smashing resistance. And as I said, you know, smashing resistance is the most common defense in the game, or most common resistance in the game. Smashing is the most resisted type of attack in the game, in the sense that the greatest percentage of the mobs, of the enemies, have defense against it. Wow. Did I see a red So this is a huge spawn. Alright. So Razorvine, Death Spore, Geode. The Geode's going to take the most damage the fastest, because he's vulnerable, so we're going to try to take him out super fast. He's going to... Oh, the Tree of Life, we got to get rid of this thing. This is buffing them. That takes that out, and now Death Spore. It will help when we have all these things 6-slotted, but it's going to take us a while, because we have a lot of attacks to slot, and we only get three slots every for 2 out of every 3 levels, so it's really going to be like level 40 or 41 before everything is fully slotted in. And it's basically the way the game was designed. You don't really have a choice. It would be impossible to 6-slot everything, because you just get powers too fast at the beginning. And you can see what's killing me here is they're not doing anything to me, right? My health bar is almost full. What's killing me here is just the constant pounding I have to do, because these guys all have resistance. Alright, so now we need to go up. And up. Okay. This guy usually spawns a baby, but he didn't this time. Another Razorvine. I think these guys are pretty cool. I mean, they're a little frustrating to fight just because of all the resistance, but they're pretty cool. Okay, so there's nobody in here, but we're still missing a section. So I came down from this way, right? So, down here. Right. This is where I haven't gone. Okay, so this is a dead end. There's nobody. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a captive in here. Alright. Now we will go to the next level. And again, in these labs, just like with the office buildings, there can be up to 5 levels, so this is our 2nd level. Might be 1 researcher per level, I just don't know. So it's going to be a very long mission with all of the resistance these guys have. There's a researcher there. Where'd you come from? It's been upstairs and saw me. Yep. There's another guy up there too. In those spores, I remember when my supergroup, I think I told this story, my supergroup and that too, those are both stuns. And you can see, right, that's a spore burst that does sleep. Man, when my supergroup first started fighting these guys, the blasters and the defenders and everybody were just getting their butts kicked. You would see like a whole room full of my friends all having Z's above their heads because they were all asleep, and I'm sitting there like beating on these guys and everybody else is just sleeping. And they're like, how come you're not, how come you're not sleeping? It's like, well, because I have practice Brawler. This is very early, like, I don't know, first few months after the game launched, I think. Things are very different back then. Blasters do now have access to some defenses now against that stuff because their players were so frustrated by it. But back then they had nothing. And I think, a lot of them really hadn't played a tanker or a scrapper class. Those were the only two that had any mez defense, personal mez defense. Obviously, the defenders can buff you with some, but they were the only ones that had any personal mez defense. And I think a lot of the people who were only playing blasters and defenders and controllers, which is the majority of my supergroup, like literally all but 2 or 3 of us, they didn't. I don't even know if they realized that I had a personal mez defense until they started seeing that I was like never ever getting held or slept or any of that. What is this thing now? Razorvine. And they started wondering why, and I'm like, well, I got practice brawler, and it was permanent at that point, just like it is now. And so yeah, their mez just doesn't work on me. Now, are there any other captives? There's nobody up here. Okay. Alright. So let us go through the door. 3 more researchers to find. Oh, wow. Like, came out of the wall. Anybody else in the wall? Oh, it's a patrol, I guess. That guy really looked like he came out of the wall. And to remind you guys, you know, we've been having mostly +2s. This is a +1 mission, right? +1. The game really does not do it right. I swear the majority are +2. I mean, I understand that there should be randomly some +1s and some +2s and maybe some +0s, maybe even some +3s in a mission that's set to +1, but it shouldn't be mostly something other than +1. Right? In a couple of the missions we were doing all +0s. Why is it doing that when I ask for +1s? I don't know. Alright, so we're now going to the next level. And we'll see what happens. Oh, one of the things I hadn't mentioned, one of my friends in my supergroup was suggesting people do this, and I've seen this before, but I have never done it for myself, and that was to create a bind where when I hit enter and I start typing, it creates a little note that says my name is typing a message so that people know that I'm typing. And that's using the AFK prompt. So here's the bind for it. Oh gosh, I don't write the bind. So that it is basically bind, enter, right, and then AFK, and then within the quotes you put whatever message. So mine is name is typing a message, like that, and that will do it for you. There's a little something more to it. Let me see if I can paste it. Yeah, there it is. And then after that, $$ start chat. So that's like starts the chat window for you, right? So that turns that green. So if you want to do that, you certainly can. All right, so we got some more guys over here. There's hostages over there. Let's take these guys out first. Razorvines. That was a mistake, but that's alright. I did an AoE before he got close enough to me, so that was a mistake. Bedrock, and he made 2 babies, so we can AoE them. This guy goes down. Come on. Are you kidding me? 63% chance. Okay, these are the guys that are holding the hostage. Take them out. These guys all can do mez, the mushrooms. Those are sleeps. Alright, we saved that guy. 2 guys to go. There's no other elevators? So then this should be everybody, right? Okay. Let's just head in. Try to knock him the other way. Okay, didn't knock him anywhere. Oh great, I've over-aggroed. That's alright. The biggest problem here is lack of endurance. Because it takes so many swings to take them out. These guys are like the Vajjalok in that sense. You can see there's another sleep. I don't know what he's doing over there. Rubble. Done. Right now we've got a couple razor vines. Anybody else in this room? Where's the other guy? The other kidnapped victim. We doing this again where I missed something? Ugh. It's like every mission, every one of these I miss something somewhere in one of these maps. Here maybe? I don't know. So we saved him, we gotta save the last researcher. So let's see. Oh, there's another elevator, isn't there? Down this hallway or something? Here we go. Alright, so the last researcher will be over here. Somewhere, it looks like. Now we get some +1s. These will be much easier because they're only +1 to us. So they don't have as many hit points, they take more damage. We hit them more often. I mean, there is a reason why I set it on +1 and not +2 at this stage, because I don't have 3 damage enhancers on every single power, and so it makes it too hard to take these guys out fast. And so, like, contrary to what the game seems to think, I do know what I'm doing, and I do know that the right thing to do at this stage is +1s. Right, and so what is it? That's what I asked it for. What does it give me? +2s, and that's pretty annoying, actually. But I will say this: the game's been doing this kind of crap since launch. I remember having a pretty extensive argument with Statesman on the forums about just beginning players and how stupid it is for them to put. Wow, that was a bit of a glitch. How stupid it is for them to put +1s in like level 7 characters missions when you've got these guys are players who might not know what they're doing. And he was like, well, but sometimes it's experienced players, like, you want the challenge. Yeah, okay, but how do you know, right? And since you don't know, you should default to assuming all level 1 characters, level 2 characters, level 3 characters are noobs. You should assume that. So, I don't know. I was playing my Stalker this morning and again ran into a mission that's clearly over hard for a new player. Even I face-planted twice, and I know what I'm doing. Twice, I think, yeah. And I had to repeatedly run out of the mission, well, or after I face-planted, I had to repeatedly go to my contacts to buy exactly the right inspirations just to survive. And so the question is, would a new player know how to do that? Would they know that you can, even that you can do that? Go leave the mission and go get inspirations. I don't know. Is there anything in the game that teaches you that? Especially the storyline that I was on with that character started with the new Galaxy City tutorial, which doesn't teach you anything, and then they're teaching you stuff as you go with the first couple story arcs. So, you haven't even taught me about enhancements yet, and therefore I might not even have enhanced my powers, and you're going to make it hard. I mean, obviously, I know what I'm doing, but how many players that are doing that tutorial sequence know? I don't know. And should you be building something for the ones who know or the ones who don't? Can we please click? There we go. Alright, so we found a clue. And this victim says, Victor Ito, we were trying to figure out how to reverse the process that turns people into devouring Earth creatures. Well, we found something, but we're not yet sure what it means. We found biological agents in the blood of normal people that match similar agents to the recently devoured. We started taking blood samples from people all over the city, and we've been finding these biological contaminants in nearly every citizen we've tested. I'm not sure what the implications are, but I must admit I'm concerned. So it seems like devouring Earth or poisoning the whole city. Trying to conquer it, I guess. Alright, so we gotta contact Jenny Firkins and tell her what we found. And she says, Dr. Ito and his lab crew send you their thanks, Silver Phoenix. They're relocating to a new lab so they can continue their research into the process that turns people into devouring Earth creatures. These biological contaminants they found in normal human blood are very worrying, especially since the same contaminants exist in the recently devoured. I've asked Dr. Ito to keep me apprised of their work. So, next, obviously we're going to choose this. I just spoke with Dr. Ito, that researcher you rescued from the devouring Earth. He said his lab is nearing a major breakthrough in determining the source of those strange biological contaminants they found both in normal human blood and in the recently devoured. The problem is they need some recently devoured creatures in order to confirm their conclusions. Will you capture some? So I need to go aboard the train and capture several test subjects. So let's go to the train. Yeah, I don't need, let's just, here we go. Alright. Train station's right there. Getting a little bit of lag. Whoops, and I went too far. There we go. And now, we get on the train. And we look for test subjects. There's a cop standing there. Using the wall lean pose, it looks like. Okay, so this is another one of these outdoor capture 2 test subjects and investigate the area, so I don't know what it is we're supposed to find. So I guess we'll just start pounding. Okay, that's really weird that they're making wolf howls. These things are made out of stone. Why are they howling like wolves? That's very strange. It is very satisfying to kick with all that damage and watch something go flying. Alright, so we're going to do what we usually do here, which is get the limits of the map outlined. I've been on this map before, so I have a sense of it, but I always like to outline the map so I know exactly how far we can go in any direction. And we have a sense of what needs to be investigated or how far we need to go. My guess is there's a glowy here somewhere. I have no idea where. Usually they're in the back or in the middle. Or sometimes they're on this island that's right here to the right of us, right there. But let's get the outline done first. And then we'll come back and check some of this stuff out. I'm hitting tab as I go here. Well, there's some guys. We can go ahead and beat them up. Some DE. My recollection is this is a pretty cool story arc. I'm only remembering bits of it, Unity Plague, but the name certainly sounds familiar, and I know I've done it before. And I'm glad we finally got to fight some Devouring Earth, because we hadn't up to this point. And if you remember right in earlier episodes, one of the things I expressed as a disappointment was that I had not done any Devouring Earth yet. I had thought that there was a story arc for them in the 20s, and maybe there was, and I missed it. At some point, I'm going to need to go to Ouroboros and do all the old story arcs that I've missed, but I am probably going to wait until I'm over level 40 for that. Maybe even just wait till nearly level 50, or even level 50, just because I don't want to miss the story arcs on level that I can do. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look in some of the sort of general areas where you usually find things on this map. Sometimes in here, Sometimes up here. Sometimes over here. Not seeing anything. Let's try this island over here. Okay, so there's a boss. I can just see it. That looks like a devoured. Those guys are awesome. There's one. Okay, so there's a test subject. That's a devoured. Yep. Alright, so we're going to take these guys out. And we got these guys over here. So this is going to be kind of rough, but we're good. Biggest problem is we're low on endurance, but we should be okay. I don't know how much resistance these guys have. Let's take the Razorvine out first so that we're just soloing the devoured by itself. Alright, so now we're going to take this guy out. I want to definitely kick him away from the other guys, if possible. Yeah, these guys generally don't go anywhere when you kick them because they're pretty rough. We can look at the damage. We're doing 55, so let's see, this is 129 instead of 180. So 50 180ths, right, is about 30% damage resistance, give or take. These guys aren't too bad. They just take a lot of pounding. They have mezzes that aren't affecting me, again, because of the practice brawler. Let's see if we can kick him off the cliff. Darn. I just wanted to see him go flying. Alright, now, we don't want to get into these guys with this, just because it's going to be too rough to do. So what I think I'm going to do is taunt them and pull them back. Right, this is sort of your typical, this is the outside equivalent, outdoor equivalent of a corner pull. So now we've got just these guys. These guys are pretty easy to handle. We'll take the Geode out first because he takes extra damage. Now he's going to spawn a baby, but the babies don't do anything really to you. In fact, when you're a tanker, you love these guys because then they stand next to you. And if you're an invulnerability tanker, you get the extra defense buff with your invincibility for every guy standing next to you, no matter what his rank. So you can take out a couple of geodes and a bedrock and let their little babies stand next to you while you're fighting a boss, and the boss can't hit you because you're getting buffs from all the little ones. Okay, so we've got this covered. And we got an endurance, so that's good. So now we can go straight in. We're going to hit the bedrock first with Focus Chi and take it out fast. And now we're going to take the baby out, just get rid of it. Alright, and now we get to fight our buddy, the test subject. Yeah, he doesn't knock down or knock back at all. But a crit is always nice. He's a boss, so we have a much higher chance of critting. There's a second crit. Can't knock him down. There's a lot of damage when he hits. But fortunately, he doesn't do any AoEs, so our melee and range defense work fully against him, which means he misses us a lot, and this Focus Chi should finish him. And there we go. So now we just have to investigate the area. There's apparently a bookcase over there. Now see, this is... Yeah, I don't know what I think of this. You know, I haven't even investigated any of this area here, and all of a sudden it tells me right where to go. That's really kind of spoilerish. You know, I mean, this is a big area, and it's sort of annoyingly big just to look for 2 or 3 things. And I'm not sure that not having a clue is good either. I almost feel like after you've done this, give me 5 minutes and then put it up. Like, get 10 minutes, whatever. Give me a chance to look around a little bit before you say, here's the answer. You know, it's a little disappointing that I don't need to look around at all. Right, it's just right there. I guess you could say you could turn off the map, but I like to use the map so I know where I am. Alright, so we completed 2 missions. We got a clue, which we'll take a look at when we get outside. Those test subjects were humans, and you saw what they look like. So, clues. Unity Manifesto. This document speaks of in rapturous terms of a great change that will come over every person in Paragon City. It refers to this coming change as the unity, and implores the people not to fear for their inevitable union with the Earth. All right, so we're going to call her, and she says the creatures you captured had already been picked up by the lab's research team. They won't hurt them. After all, those critters used to be Paragon citizens. This manifesto you found really worries me, Silver Phoenix. I don't know what to make of it, but I have a bad feeling it's going to tie into all this somehow. Check back with me later, and I'll keep you informed. So we're going to stop here. I think we had a good run, and I'll be back with another episode in the future. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been City of Heroes.